Raise your right hand.
The stage has been meticulously set. Months of work by the Democrats, gathering evidence, calling votes, preparing articles of impeachment.
Article 2 is adopted.
As they pass those articles on to the Senate for the trial, the matter is now literally out of their hands.
I have been directed by the House of Representatives to inform the Senate.
Once those articles travel down this corridor to the Republican-controlled Senate, it's a very different political world. Senate leaders are now working closely with the White House to coordinate the president's defense. So for the first time, we're going to see what their defense strategy is beyond the flat denials that we've so far had.
It's a hoax. It's a hoax. Everybody knows that. It's a complete hoax.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
The historic trial began by discussing the rules. The Republicans proposed each side given 24 hours to present their case, spread over 3 days. But, crucially, no witnesses, at least not yet.
Our founders trusted the Senate to rise above short-term passions and factionalism. They trusted the Senate to soberly consider what has actually been proven and which outcome best serves the nation.
There are 100 senators in total, 47 Democrat and 53 Republican. Removing the president from office requires a two-thirds majority, so 67 senators, meaning 20 Republicans need to vote with the Democrats, and that is extremely unlikely. However, it only takes 51 senators to set the rules for the trial, meaning the Democrats need only convince 4 Republicans to vote with them, for example, to demand that witnesses are called to give evidence. The Democrats, then, are trying to put pressure on enough Republicans to reject the proposed trial schedule, to allow more time and, crucially, witnesses.
The most important question is the question you must answer today. Will the president and the American people get a fair trial? Will there be a fair trial? I submit that this is an even more important question than how you vote on guilt or innocence, because whether we have a fair trial will determine whether you have a basis to render a fair and impartial verdict. It is foundational.
The president's legal team, of course, had a different view. No need for witnesses, no need for longer deliberation.
Once you hear those initial presentations, the only conclusion will be that the president has done absolutely nothing wrong, and that these articles of impeachment do not begin to approach the standard required by the Constitution, and in fact, they themselves will establish nothing beyond those articles. You look at those articles alone and you will determine that there is absolutely no case.
Ron Bonjean is a Republican strategist who's run communications for a previous Senate Majority Leader and more recently for the White House. He says very few senators will actually want to drag out the trial.
This is going to be a brutal schedule on Senate Republicans and Democrats. Neither side wants to drag this out. I don't care if Senate Democrats are saying that this is unfair. Many of them really appreciate Senator McConnell's move, because you're talking about the average age of senators is well over 70 years old. Sitting in their desk chairs, only have to get up to use the restroom. They don't have the temperament, the fortitude, or the patience, really, with an issue that everyone knows is political and everyone knows it's going to happen, so why not just get it over with?
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
And while all this is going on, senators sitting as they are as the jury aren't able to say anything. While the networks try and make it all exciting, the Republican strategy is to make it all as boring as possible, so everyone has forgotten about it come November's election.
If you could tell me what happened a week ago in the news cycle, I would pay you $100. However, it will come up in political advertising. Both the left and the right are going to remind voters in September and October about impeachment to bring that, to the nation's attention. And if Trump's in a weak spot, they may help, or Trump has been pretty strong in the economy and jobs and national security. It may fire up Republicans to get out there and vote.
So far, this trial has been a rather complex argument about process and precedent. Is America, though, paying attention? there is so far little evidence that anyone outside or inside Congress has changed their mind on this one way or the other.